All right, so we're going to try to do some adding fractions today, and we'll also do some subtracting fractions. It's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, so let's say that we want to add these two fractions. Let's say we want to do like 2 over 5 plus 1 over 5, okay? Well, what we want to look at in this case is we want to actually look at the denominator. So that's the bottom numbers right here. And in both cases, the denominator is 5, which means that we don't really have to do a whole lot to this fraction. We just leave it as is. So that denominator stays 5, and we do 2 plus 1, which is 3. And that's it. We don't have to mess around with denominators. That fraction has been, or those two fractions rather, have been added. The difficulty comes when we have two different denominators, like denominators that aren't just the same. So let's take a look at an example like that. So if I had, let's say, 1/3, and I wanted to add oops, that's not what I wanted to write. There we go, and 1/5. If I wanted to add those two fractions, well, you'll notice that those denominators are not the same. So 3 is not the same as 5. So the trick that we do is we write a little times sign beside all of the numbers, times, 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 times. And then I copy the number 3 and I put it at the top and the bottom over here. And I copy that number 5 and I put it over here. So I've got a 5 and a 5. And then what I do is I write a nice little equals sign right beside it, and I complete all of those multiplications. There's going to be 4 multiplications that I'm going to do. Lucky for us, though, 2 of them are exactly the same, and that's on purpose. So the first one is 5 times 1. That's equal to 5. The next one is 5 times 3. That's 15. And don't forget that we're adding these. Now, sometimes we're subtracting, and a lot of students make the mistake that they forget to write plus, and then they forget what operation they're doing. So make sure that you write that plus sign down. The next one we're going to do is 1 times 3, which is 3. And the last one that we do is 5 times 3, but we actually already did 5 times 3, right? We did it on the other denominator, right? That's 15, right? So now that we've done that, you'll notice that the denominators are the same, and that's on purpose. That's the whole reason why we do this, is we want those denominators to be exactly the same. So the next thing that we do is we just add the numerators, the top numbers. So 5 plus 3 is 8, and the bottom number stays the same, it's 15. Let's do one more example, and then it'll be your turn to complete the first page of the worksheet. Let's try something like this. Let's do 2 over 7 plus 1 over 3. Okay, so 2/7 plus 1/3. So you'll notice that these do not have the same denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write times, 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 times. I'm going to copy that first 7 and put it on this side, and I'm going to copy the other 3 and put it on that side. And then take a look, I've got 3 times 7 and 3 times 7. That's going to set us up for two fractions that have the same denominator. That's why we swap those numbers. So this is equal to, well, 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. 1 times 7 is 7. And 3 times 7, well, like I said, we already did that one. It's 21. Now we add the numerators. 6 plus 7 is 13. And we leave the denominator alone. It's 21. That's all. Well, good luck with that first set of fractions, and make sure to show all your work and never be afraid to ask a question. Good luck.